Right then folks, good morning, good evening, wherever you may be, whatever time it is where you are. Today is a bit of a different video, so we're going to be going through my whole exterior cleaning business setup. So I've got pressure washing, roof cleaning, fascia, soffit, UPVC cleaning, window cleaning and gutters. So yeah, we're going to go through it one by one. The only thing I haven't got with me is my roof cleaning pole, my pressure washing roof cleaning pole, and my foot pedal, which I use as a trigger for roof cleaning. Reason being is because it's at home, and it's just because it has a bit more space and a bit tidier, and I don't want anything to break because it's quite expensive stuff. So everything else is here in my little tiny container. As you can see, it's proper filled out, everything is all in there. It's all kind of got its place, but it's got a bit overcrowded recently because I've had quite a busy time. So yeah, the first day today I think where I've kind of had a slow, chilled day. So I thought I'd get this video out. And yeah, so we'll start off with the pressure washing side of things and move on throughout the video. So firstly, we'll begin with lances and triggers. So here I've got the Q fittings. So this is a Q fitting here. It's easy, quick release of all my lances. So this is honestly a lifesaver. I'm so grateful I've got it. Yeah, so that's the trigger ST1500. Then we've got a 1200mm lance with a quick release, a mini quick release at the end, which I basically use for like turbo nozzles and anything I don't want to get blasted in my face. That's why I've got a longer lance. Next one, we've got a 900mm quick release mini at the end. So this is basically what I use for like fan jets and things like that. And then we've got a straight lance, which is about 800mm, which is slightly shorter than that one, and it's a straight lance instead of a little bend at the end. Yeah, that one's alright. I don't really use it. It's got brass fitting at the end. And then we've got a close, I don't actually know what you call this. This is basically like a really close trigger. So as you can see, I've got a fan jet there, mini quick release, and the key fitting. Then finally, we've got my X-Jet, which obviously is a lifesaver. Great for rinsing, great for chemical use. All round, it's just great. And yeah, I'll try and show you now what you do with the key fitting and how you fix it in the trigger. Right then folks, I don't know if you can see me too well. You're on a bit of a low level, but this is the 1200mm lance, the turbo at the end trigger. This is how easy it is to kind of fit in. So literally all you do is pull it back, just like that, it's in, and you're away going, and then you can quickly change. So all you have to do is pull that back, grab your X-Jet for example, and you're away cleaning. As simple as that. So that's all of that with all the lances. We'll get onto the pressure washer next, but here we have my hose. This is a 40m hose, 2-wire reinforced from Rutland Pumps. I store it in my buffer tank just to save space. I haven't got a hose reel because I've only got a small van. So yeah, it stays in here. You've got the inlet fitting here, which comes with my hose. So that goes into the customer's tap, straight out into here, and then it fills up using this float valve. So when the water level gets to here, it will stop the water coming in, and it will keep topping it up every now and again, every time I squeeze off the trigger, and it will fill up the whole time. And then we get to the pressure washer. So this is my baby, is what I call it. It's a Honda GX390, 21 litres, 200 bar. I'm not going to turn it on for you, but it's basically how we start it is we turn this, which is a ball valve, to let the water flow out, so we can check water pressure and stuff. Switch it on. We then pull back the choke, fuel level all the way, and then all we do is pull, and then it would start, and then we'd be away cleaning. But yeah, great machine. Basically what this is the yellow one's a return to tank hose, so water doesn't get stuck in the pump, it can always go back to the tank, which is the wheelie bin. This just gets dropped in the wheelie bin, just on top, and that's how the water is fed through the machine. But honestly, it's a great bit of kit. I use this obviously for pressure washing, roof cleaning, everything. I've also got a little pressure gauge here. So when I'm roof cleaning, I go up to about 100 bar, 90 bar sometimes, and that will keep my pole afloat, taking the weight off of it. And honestly, this is great. I'd definitely get one of these if you could. A nice little pressure gauge. Other stuff I've got is I've got hypo there. I've got some biocide in the van. So this is hypo I've got under this tarpaulin, which is an absolute nightmare because it's just so big. It's like 10 metres. We've got a few other barrels of hypo. We've also got my old machine here. This is a Honda, not Honda, sorry, a Hyundai 15 litres a minute, 290 bar machine. I haven't used it for about 3 months, so it's just kind of sat there. It's a good machine, but obviously I've got a bigger, better one now, which is 21 litres as opposed to 15 litres a minute. Saves me so much time having the upgrade in litres a minute, honestly. I honestly can't recommend upgrading your machine as soon as possible. We've got a few extra triggers here. So this is off the X-Jet. I bought it with a trigger, but now I don't use it. Obviously you can always screw a lance in the end there. And then we've got this one, which is what came with the Hyundai. Oops. I obviously haven't got a lance now, but this is a crap trigger. Honestly, pardon me, the vibration of it is so bad that it's just unusable now compared to the new triggers I've got. But yeah, I think that's pretty much a wrap on all the pressure washing stuff. Let's see if I can find anything else I use. One more thing, we also got the flat surface cleaner there with the handle here. Obviously this is the high pressure hose that connects into the flat surface cleaner on top there. Always make sure to grease these, they need to stay well greased, because otherwise the bearings kind of go. So yeah, that's a flat surface cleaner. I think it's 18 inch, it's a BE whirl away. But yeah, I've got a Turbo Devil coming, which is a 12, which is 300mm, which I think is about 12 inches coming, which is a quick release, so I can always stick it on the end of a lance if I really wanted to. It's going to be a bit easier because these handles, obviously I have to put them all together every time because it's too big for the van to have all together, so that's just a time saving thing. But yeah, that's pretty much a wrap on all the pressure washing stuff. The next thing we'll do is gutter clearing, so we'll start with the basic. Ladders. I've got two sets of ladders there. One's triple, one's double. I think the top one's 11 or 12 rungs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 rungs. Two sets of them. The other one underneath I think is 10 rungs, but 3 sets of them. So I can get to basically the top of a house doing gutter clearing by hand. If not, I've got this baby. This is a Gutter Vacuum Systems Panther. Great bit of kit. I use this on pretty much every guttering job I do, roof cleans. It's also good as a wet vacuum as well. If you've got pooling water while you're pressure washing, you can always kind of suck the water up through here and then move the water somewhere where it can drain away. I've got 8 poles in there, so I've got 8 meters in theory of poles, so I can reach the top of a 3-story building, which is absolutely great. But yeah, the only other thing I've got, which I can't really show you right now, is the angle which drops in the gutters, and I've also got a 90-degree angle, so I can kind of have my poles set out for my body and then dunk in the gutter, and if the guttering's really far away and I'm over like a conservatory roof or something, that's what I use that for. So for roof cleaning, I've already told you I've left my pole that I use for pressure washing and my foot pedal at home, but that's very simple. You just connect high pressure hose, pressure washer, high pressure hose into the foot pedal into the pole, and then you're away. Turbo nozzle at the end, or flat surface cleaner. That's it. For buyer side, I use Big Boy Backpack 2, Renegade pole, which is 30 feet, and then I've got like a black thin hose, which I think is in this bucket here. Yeah, it's there. So this hose is about 30 meters. I've got an extension, which basically makes it 30 meters. So that's great because it means you can put the backpack on the ground and work all the way up to the roof rather than take your backpack up the scaffolding with you. It's a nightmare. So the next thing I'm going to get onto is pure water window cleaning. Now, this is a Shore Flow pump, yet to be used. It's second hand. It comes with a Pure Freedom controller. I've also got a leisure battery brand new down there as well. So it's going to be all connected up because I've got a 210 litre tank coming, which is going to go in the van. And then we can have it all connected up instead of using these barrels all the time. That's pretty much it because I can't really show you how that works. But yeah, so you have your inlet, your outlet goes into the comes in from the tank, sorry, and goes out into your pole, and then the controller links up with the battery bullet connectors into the leisure battery. I've also got another backpack there which I basically use for synergy and window cleaning if I have to. Say if I haven't got enough room in the van to take all the tank, I can take the other backpack with me so that I can clean the windows with one of these barrels of water, which I always have here. There's 4, 5, 6, so that's how many barrels of water I always keep, just in case I kind of get stuck and can't take all the big boy setup. I use that. The next thing I've got is my pole. This is a Gardner CLX22 that comes out from the hose and goes straight over here, so I will start balling into my 100 metre hose reel. So in theory what will happen is inlet, outlet, from tank, pump into my 100 metre hose reel, which is tucked away down there, into this cable down here which goes all the way up from my pole and into my brush. Now, I've got a brush on the way because the other one I now use for biocide because I broke two. So the brush I used to use is in there that came with the pole. The next thing I want to show you is my roof scraping. So I've got the skyscraper from, I think it's Skyvac. I bought it, it's good. It comes in this little bag here, skyscraper, and you get quite a lot of stuff with it. So you get all these different types of blades. So obviously this is what goes in the end of your pole, which mostly I use on the Renegade pole. And then you've got all these different scrapers for every roof tile. I haven't got the full set, I've got the half set, but I always kind of get out there on the roof the ladder if I've got a quote to do and see what tiles I actually need, because if I haven't got one that fits, I obviously have to order it. So yeah, I'm getting there, almost full. Oh yeah, sorry, this just fell on the floor. This is my window cleaning brush that I also have as a backup. This is a stiff brush, but it's a bit too stiff. It literally like rubs, it's like a stiff broom. It's not very good for all types of windows, like lead and stuff, but I still use it sometimes. But it's got the fan jets, but it's not great to use all the time. So I've got another one, which is a big red one, which is on the way. But yeah, that's a brush I've used. And I think this is finally, I've got a Chaplin sprayer which I use for sealing. I've used it most recently on porcelain, so I used that from Pure Seal, porcelain sealer. It's come up really well. I think I don't know if I've done a video, it might be a short on YouTube. So if you go on my shorts and have a look at the porcelain, I cleaned it then sealed it. Came up looking amazing, customers really happy because it's not slippery anymore. So it's all clean, sealed, and it's all looking lovely. But yeah, sealing is a bit of a tough one in the UK because obviously the weather, it's so weather dependent. If it's going to rain, you can't do it. If it rained the night before, you can't do it. You know, you've got to kind of have a good few days of sunshine, which never really happens at the moment. But yeah, no, that's pretty much it for sealing. I haven't really used anything else. I've used an imprinted concrete sealer with a broom from Smart Seal, which was okay, but I prefer the sprayer. The only thing with it is that if you use acrylic based sealers, you have to rinse it out with some xylene, which is what I always keep there. So this is xylene. It's not very good at all for the environment or yourself, so always make sure you wear a mask. Same with biocide, same with hypo, you always want an ABEC P1 mask because you don't want to breathe in any of this stuff. It's just not great at all for you. It can really mess you up. So yeah, always make sure you've got a mask. Mine is in my front. I always keep it well away from any other chemicals or anything like that, so it's there. And I've got a dust mask as well, which I use for resanding because silica's not great to breathe in either. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Sorry I haven't gone into more detail and kind of got everything out, but getting everything out in this small little tiny space, you can see as I've got here, I know it's over there, there's a dead pigeon. This isn't actually I don't own any of this. This is just my container which I rent. So yeah, it's not really ideal to use all their space, so I've kind of just got this. This is old decking out of the van, so took all this out for a bit more space. But yeah, that's pretty much a wrap. Biocide bits all in there. We've got the hose, the sprayer which I use for biocide sometimes, and then the X-Jet hose. I've got two X-Jet hoses that's in there for biocide and hypo because you shouldn't ever mix them. But yeah, if there's anything else I can think of, it will be after this clip. The last thing, and probably my most favourite thing, is this leaf blower from Screwfix. It's a Titan leaf blower. I think it cost me about £150. It's a great bit of kit. It honestly it's a lifesaver sometimes. You can blow the excess of sand away off driveways, you can clear a patio before washing it so mud doesn't go everywhere. You can also tidy up after work if there's leaves falling off trees and stuff, you can always tidy it up. It's honestly a great bit of kit. It's a lifesaver sometimes. It saves so much time. Honestly, I'd recommend getting a leaf blower. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through prices. So you can get this exact setup of the 12, 900, 800 trigger X-Jet for around about £400–500, I'd say. If you minus the X-Jet, you can get all this for about 300 quid. I don't actually know if there's X-Jets for sale anymore. I think there's like a really shortage on it. I know Rutland Pumps do a Pro Jet and a Pro Foam. The only thing with that, I've never used the Pro Jet. It looks very similar to the X-Jet, but I'm not really sure if you can use it for rinsing down. The Pro Foam, you definitely can't use it for rinsing down. So the X-Jet is a great bit of kit. Like I say, you can use it for chemicals, rinsing down, everything like that. So yeah, about £400 or £500 with this whole setup. Now the biggest buy is obviously the pressure washer. This cost me I think it was about 2,400 including VAT. But it's definitely worth it. It makes its money back so quickly. But yeah, you can pick up a Honda GX390 second hand some places on Facebook and whatever. But brand new, they're around about £2,000. Some places obviously it might be a bit cheaper, a bit more expensive, but this one is from a supplier called A1 Pressure Washers. It's literally local to me, so it's only like a 40-minute drive away, as opposed to Rutland Pumps and Pressure Washers Stafford and stuff like that, which are about 4 or 5 hours away. So out of convenience, I just spent a bit more and got this one, because you know, you kind of just got to save yourself money in the long run with services, equipment, things like that. Leaf blower, I think it was about £150 from Screwfix. It's the Titan petrol 2-stroke one. You will need oil to mix in with petrol for it, because it's a 2-stroke engine. Hose reel, this is only a 1/2 inch hose reel, so it only cost me, I think it was about £50, £60, but you can just literally get any hose reel and use that. I would suggest getting a 3/8, I think it's 3/8 or 3/4, no sorry, 3/4 inch hose or an inch hose, so you get a bit, you're not restricted anywhere of water flow, and it feels like your buffer tank nice and quickly. Hose from the high pressure hose, this cost me, I think it's about £220 including VAT from Rutland Pumps. It's great, it doesn't tangle as much, and it's quite lightweight as well. There's some that I've used in the past which are really heavy, but yeah, absolutely great bit of kit. I definitely recommend, if you haven't got space and got a small van, to get a buffer tank as well in a wheelie bin style instead of a tank, simply because you can use it for storing hoses and you can convert them as well. So this wheelie bin, I think it was about £65 on Amazon, and then float valve, I think it was about £10 of Amazon, and then you've got all these connectors which are BSPM connectors, BSPF connectors. I think these are about £10 as well, and the same at the bottom, but I got a ball valve and an inch hose tail, which I think were about £20. So all in all, you can get this exact wheelie bin, make it yourself for about just over £100, which honestly is ideal. Big boy backpack, you can get these for about £150, £160 from Window Cleaning Warehouse. You can also get a Gardener one, which is slightly cheaper, but I think there's like a really long backlog, or they're out of stock or something at the moment. Biocide, I use Pure Seal Back 50. I've used others in the past. I've used GK Pro, but yeah, I was just stick to this one at the moment just because it's easy to order and it comes in about 2 to 3 days. GK Pro I think takes about a week, so I've used both. Waiting on results. I think I'm going to go to Algo Clear Pro next, and then Ben's Bio Clear Pro, just to kind of work out which one I prefer. I think at the moment I slightly prefer GK Pro. You get a bit more use out of it because you can use it at slightly lower dilution rates, and yeah, it's just great. But Biocide, so backpack £160, £150. Biocide, I think this is about £40 for a 5 litre barrel. I order in bulk, so I get about 20 litres in total at a time. You can get 3 25 litres barrels of sodium hypochlorite from Pure Seal. I think it's about £125 for 3 25 litres, and to be honest, that lasts me a few months. I don't often go through hypo that quickly. It's not my always go-to chemical, like you say. Sometimes you don't need it, sometimes you need it, sometimes you need it loads and do multiple treatments, sometimes you need it neat, or sometimes you use Biocide and things like limestone and stuff. So it's always good to have extra. Same with Biocide, same with all the chemicals, Synergy, everything. But yeah, that's great. Surface cleaner, I think this cost me about £350. It's an 18-inch whirl away with the handle. We've got meaty fittings, meaty quick release fittings. So yeah, I think that's about £350. Now, if we move on to the Biocide setup, sprayer, I think it was £10. Brush head came with a pole. The hose, I think, cost me £20. And the Renegade pole, I think, cost me about £200 in total for 30 feet. I might be wrong with that. I bought that. It was one of the first ever things I bought. But yeah, around about that price. I'd say between £150, £300 you can get a Biocide setup. I don't know if that's including the backpack. Dual flow pump, controller, battery, around about £300 or so, £300, £400. I think the pump's about £150. Battery cost me £120. Controllers, I think, about £50 as well. I might be completely wrong with that because I bought this second hand, but I think that's about the price. Barrels, you can get 4 barrels, about £30 on Amazon. Obviously that's just starting window cleaning, or if you're going to use it for kind of any other stuff, it's always great to have a few barrels spare. Now the big baby, Gutter Vacuum Systems Panther, I think that cost me about £800, £900 for 4 poles to begin with. Obviously I bought 4 more, which I think were about £200, But yeah, you can get a good gutter vacuum system set up for just under £1,000, between 800 and £1,000, I'd say, and that would keep you going. And you probably won't need one for a few years. This is great. There is upgrades, but to be honest, I don't really need it because I'm not gutter clearing every day. I'm gutter clearing once a week, kind of maximum once or twice a week. Roof cleans, they're great because obviously you get so much build up of moss and stuff. You always kind of need a gutter vacuum on jobs like that. Or even if we disconnect the downpipe, there's still loads of moss that sits in the gutters, so it's always great to have one of those. This Chaplin sprayer cost me, I think it was £230, including VAT and delivery. As you can see, mine's had a bit of wear and tear because the hose bent a little bit in the van, which is why I store everything in here now. Everything that's kind of fragile gets stored in here, so I had to do a bit of gaffer tape repair around that so it doesn't leak all over me while I'm sealing. Tarpaulin, which is 10 metres by 5 metres, I believe. I think it's cost me about £120. It's good for roof cleans if you do it on like grass, or if you're on like an area which is really tough to get rid of moss, like grass, stones, all that kind of thing. It's really great to use because it saves you loads of time in clearing up afterwards. 100-metre hose for windows, which is, I think it's 6mm hose. I think that cost about £200. It's great because you can bolt that down in your van. Obviously I haven't, but you can bolt that down in your van. My window cleaning pole, I think it was around £200 for the CLX 22. I kind of made that hose up which goes up the pole, so that I don't actually know what the price of that would be. My Hyundai pressure washer, my old one, I think it cost me about £850 off Amazon. It's a good machine, good start machine, but obviously you want to try and upgrade as quickly as possible because the 21 litres a minute will save you a lot of time. But just be careful because you don't want to kind of save up £2 for example and spend it all on a machine straight away, because you need to get work. So you need to kind of concentrate on getting work, and once you have work booked in, I'd say a month in advance, make the move. Just do it because you know you're going to get all that money back, and you could probably end up selling this one. I've kept it as a backup for now. A bit unsure what I'm going to do with it in the future, but it's here for now. And then it leads me to the scraping setup. I think this cost me about £150 of Skyscraper. There's other ones out there. You've got Marshall Pro, Flexi Scraper, Gutter Vacuum Systems do their own scraping set. I'll probably look at those ones instead, just simply because that's the only thing I've ever bought off of Skyvac Spinner Clean. It's just a bit easier for me because Gutter Vacuum Systems is only an hour-and-a-half drive from where I live, so I kind of try and buy things as close to home as possible, so if anything ever goes wrong I can get it fixed in a day, realistically. Otherwise, if you drive into Stafford or Rutland Pumps, you're obviously looking at like a 10-hour day driving, so it's not great because it takes a whole day out, whereas I can leave at 7, get to Gutter Vacuum Systems, get home like by midday-ish, and then get back to work. But yeah, that's kind of my thinking of when I buy things. I always try and buy fairly close by, so if anything ever goes wrong I can always get it repaired. So that pretty much wraps up this video, price wise and equipment wise. Like I say, also my roof cleaning pole from Gutter Vacuum Systems is 35 feet. I think that cost me about £700 from Gutter Vacuum Systems. It's a great pole, rigid, nice and lightweight, mini quick release at the end. I've never used a different one, but this one's great. I'm going to use it for a long time coming. I've got 2 roof cleans to do next week, both massive houses. I spoke to Julia about buying a Dosatron, but I don't think if I order it now it's going to come in time anyway, so I'm just not going to bother. What I'll do is I'll wait until the next roof clean's booked in, which I think there is actually one booked in for the first week of July. So yeah, so I'll probably have a Dosatron by then, which is basically how to kind of use biocide in a quicker and safer way, because it's all water pressure based and it's all sat in a Dosatron, mixes it all properly, and you don't get any leaks because the backpacks sometimes play up. Battery wise, you're always worrying about battery. You've also got to keep coming down from the scaffold to refill it because it only has a 20 litre capacity. So yeah, that's just another upgrade. Then we've got to buy tower scaffolding, so I don't have to rent it anymore, so I'm going to get 4.2 metres tower. And then once that's bought, which is I think brand new at £2.5 grand, but I'm going to try and go second hand for about 1,000. And then after that, new van. This van's been great. It's been good. I'm going to keep it because I don't really want to remove all the sign writing and then kind of be out of place in a few years' time when I want another van potentially. So I'm going to keep it, kind of try it. I'm going to speak to the person that owns this and try and keep it next to my container here. Bit of dry stock for a while. try and build up the window cleaning round. I know I don't really want to say it too loudly because that can completely change, but I want to build up the window cleaning round pretty much so that there's enough there for someone to go out and work every day for me for the windows. That's my plan, but that's subject to change, probably will change, but that's kind of what direction I'm heading in at the moment. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much a wrap of the video. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like and subscribe because it really helps a channel or a business like me, which is a small business, you know, trying to get started, and I'm only a year in business, so yeah, it always helps to kind of support people that are creating content. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.